Sup all, JC3 here, the baller of YouTube, the general. Welcome to Topic Tackle. And we are going to switch it up a little bit today because we are looking at NBA franchises that no longer exist. Seriously, they're extinct. Okay, starting with the Anderson Packers from Anderson, Indiana, who withdrew from the NBA on April 11th, 1950. In their one NBA season, they went 37-27 and lost in the semifinals of the playoffs. The founders were brothers who had purchased the Hughes Curry Packing Company of Anderson in 1946, which was the time they founded the Anderson Packers. This team played at Anderson High School Wigwam, which held a staggering 8,996 people, and they were part of the one-year wonders in the NBA along with a couple of other teams of that time. Up next, the Baltimore Bullets. Look at that logo, man. You can tell this one's old. They played in 3 different leagues, folded from the NBA on November 27th, 1954 after a rough start. In their 6 NBA seasons, they went 104-252, made the playoffs in 1953, lost in the division semifinals, and were the worst regular season record going into playoffs in NBA history at 16-54. That mark from 1953 still stands to today. The Bullets had 1 championship and 2 playoff appearances in the BAA, but once they got to the NBA, they only had 1 playoff appearance in 6 years. The Chicago Stags are up next, another one-year wonder NBA team that folded from the NBA on September 25th, 1950. They actually acquired the draft rights to Bob Cousy. Unfortunately, he never played for them. 1 NBA season, 40-28 record, and they lost in the semifinals 0-2. They did make it to the BAA finals in the 1946-1947 season, but they lost that too. An interesting fact, in the 2005-2006 NBA season, the Chicago Bulls wore replicas of the 1946 Stag uniforms as part of the NBA's Hardwood Classics program. Next up, we got the Denver Nuggets, and just wait, I'll answer the question that everyone's got in their mind right now. They played in the Missouri Valley, ABL, NBL, NBA, and PBL, and they disbanded in 1950. They were the first major professional sports franchise in Colorado and first NBA franchise west of the Mississippi. This is like the Lewis and Clark of the NBA right here. In their one NBA season, they went a rough 11-51. They never made the playoffs in that season, well, obviously. And they had 3 AAU national tournament championships. I mean, this is good stuff. 1937, 39, and 42, they racked those up. Okay, so to answer your question, yes, there was another Denver Nuggets. And the current Denver Nuggets are actually Denver's second major pro basketball franchise, and they were originally known as the Denver Rockets of the ABA. And when they endeavored to join the NBA, a contest was held in 1974 to give the team a new nickname because the NBA already had the Houston Rockets, and the name of Denver's original franchise of the NBA, the Denver Nuggets, won, and ever since, that has been the team. The Indianapolis Olympians were NBA Pure, founded in 1949 to replace the Indianapolis Jets of the BAA. They folded from the NBA after the 1953 season, though. In their 4 NBA seasons, they went 5 games under 500, 132 and 137. They made the playoffs 1950 through 53. They went 4-9. The furthest round they ever reached was the division finals in 1950. The craziest fact about this team is that they won a game 75-73 in 6 overtimes on January 6, 1951 against the Rochester Royals. 78 minutes long, 6 overtimes, longest game in NBA history to this day. Shout out to those guys for playing those minutes. There was a team in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. They withdrew from the NBA on April 24th, 1950. In their one season, they went 22-40. And they lost in the division semifinals, nearly upsetting the Western Division champion Indianapolis Olympians. This team in the 1949-1950 season defeated George Mikan and the Minneapolis Lakers 85-82 in front of a standing room only crowd of 3,800 fans. This team was forced into the NPBL as Ned Irish, president of the New York Knicks, refused to participate in the same league as the Bush Leagues, the term used to describe very small town charter NBA teams originating from the NBL, such as the Redskins. I'm keeping it 100 right here. There's not a lot going on with the St. Louis Bombers. They dropped out of the NBA in 1950. They had 1 NBA season, 26-42 record, and they never made the playoffs. I mean, I guess that's a pretty cool poster right there. I mean, that's solid for 1950, or whenever that was made. Their starting 5, I mean, hopefully they got some buckets. The Washington Capitals, not to be confused with the Capitals hockey team over there in DC, folded from the NBA on January 12, 1951 after a 10-25 start. They had 2 NBA seasons, went 42 and 61 combined. In the 1950 playoffs, they lost in the division semifinals. They were coached by Hall of Famer Red Auerbach, obviously a famous coach for the Boston Celtics. Now here's a cool fact for them. The first black player in NBA history, Earl Lloyd, made his NBA debut for them in 1950. And finally, there was such a team as the Waterloo Hawks out of Waterloo, Iowa, who folded from the NBA after the 1949-50 season. They're the only sports franchise ever based in Iowa out of the Big Four leagues. That's NHL, NFL, MLB, NBA. NBA history, one season, 1943. They never made the playoffs. So that's it for today. Let me know in the comments down below which team most surprised you. We'll be back with more Topic Tackle soon. Hope you enjoyed. JC3, out.